Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the FrostBytez Gaming Experience, part 33 of the Pokemon Emerald walkthrough, where we have the entirety of Victory Road for you folks. And I did not actually know that Victory Road was actually going to be this long, originally when I was recording it. I guess there's just that many more trainers than I had initially thought, because the layout of Victory Road in Emerald is not really all that big or maze-like. In a lot of cases, it is very from point A to point B. There's just multiple ways to get to point B, but it's not really that much of a maze, I personally think, anyways. Because going through and fighting every single trainer was an easy point A to point B. The only time I really ever had to go out of my way, where I had to backtrack a little bit, is kind of in the beginning here, where I have to go around in a circle to get a particular item and fight a trainer, and then loop back around in order to actually get started. The rest can all be done just by simply, if you follow the movements that I do, obviously. And obviously, if you're also planning on just trying to avoid a lot of trainers, you could probably go through Victory Road and only have to face half the trainers that are actually in Victory Road itself, and then you're pretty much in the clear. So, again, not as big as the episode may indicate for it, but when you do go out of your way and fight every single trainer, it does take a small while. There's also a number of items you can get, only I think about 3 of which are invisible, hidden, that you need to find, and the rest is easy. All you really need, you don't need Flash, but it's nice to have Flash for the upcoming area. And then Waterfall and Surf, Strength, Rock Break. You kind of really need to bring every EHM that you can pretty much get. Before we can do any of that, we have a battle with Wally. So we haven't seen Wally in a while, and the last time we saw him, he only had about maybe 2-3 Pokemon, but nope, he's at a full 5 now, and in some cases is like a mini boss in his own right. Starts off with his Altaria, level 44, Aerial Ace, Safeguard, Dragon Breath, and Dragon Dance. A move I really wish Flygon could learn, but we'll get into that a little bit more later. But yeah, we're going against Wally, and Wally has taken quite a step since the last time that we had faced against him. And I gotta tell you, when I originally played this anyways, back in my high school days, Wally just threw me off entirely. Magneton, level 41, Supersonic, Tri-Attack, Screech, and Thunderbolt. And he threw me off because, in the beginning it just felt like he was just mostly there for story reasons. Every time he fights you, he's going to be really weak, not really a true rival like May is supposed to be, or as I pretty much know her as, I think she was called Sapphire in the I think she did go by Sapphire in the Pokemon Adventures manga, but I don't fully remember if she was May or Sapphire or Ruby. But anyways, Gardevoir, level 45, Double Team, Calm Mind, Psychic, and Future Sight. And boy, do I hate the move Double Team, because as you're going to see, I'm going to completely miss out on, I believe, 2 Shadow Balls before I finally give up and say, nope, we're going to go ahead and use a Feint Attack and call it good. But, yeah, I always felt like he was mostly just going to be used for a story about how he's always trying to get there, but not really getting there, but he's going to battle all odds, all that kind of stuff. But since it's been a while since we last saw Wally, in fact, I think when we went against him, it was at the Malville gym before we entered it, and went up against him, and he said, oh, I'm going to train even harder to go against you. And I can't remember if we actually went against him a second time after that, but I believe that was the only time. And then he just randomly shows up in the beginning of Victory Road, and it's like, oh, okay, Wally, what have you got here? And he starts off with an Altaria, and you see 5 Pokemon slots being used, and you're like, okay, this guy is actually being serious right now. Delcatty, level 43, Sing, Assist, Charm, and Feint Attack. One of the few Pokemon in his team that I feel like could easily be replaced. I don't really think, especially with that move set, I don't think Delcatty really brings that much to the table as just about any other Pokemon he could have picked. And then finally, Roselia, level 44, Magical Leaf, Leech Seed, Giga Drain, and Toxic. Not one of the best grass poison types, but good enough. Magical Leaf's pretty good. Giga Drain, okay. Leech Seed, Toxic especially, doing the Toxic Seed strat all the way back from Gen number 1. But again, to me, the biggest one that feels a little bit off is the Delcatty. I feel like you can just remove Delcatty, throw in just about really any other Pokemon, and yeah, I think it's a little bit better. But aside from that, I give it to Wally. You know, didn't stick to one type, had a variety of different types of Pokemon. And again, I really praise it because even though it's not hard, obviously, it's not supposed to be. He's kind of more of a mini boss than anything. But the fact of the matter is again, I praise it because I'll always remember the first time that Wally came up and challenged me, and it threw me off how good his team became in the time since we last went against him. Because if anything, you would feel like, because of, you know, what previous generations did, you would feel like it's your other rival that would show up to be the one to fight you. So here I am thinking May is going to come up and fight me. And no, she doesn't. Instead, it's Wally that goes out of his way and, you know, actually has a relatively good team that really throws you off. And yeah, I just thought it was really cool. And that's really all I'm going to be talking about that. Other than the fact that you can rematch Wally in Victory Road. It is possible to. Difference is instead of at the entrance of Victory Road, you'll find him at the exit of Victory Road instead. And he doesn't add any new Pokemon. It still stays the same exact 5. It's just that their levels increase. And I'm not exactly sure what determines when he wants to rematch fight you. It could be like every other rematch battle where you just got to take a certain amount of steps and just hope to roll the dice. The thing is, that's different, I believe, because, again, Wally will be positioned at the exit, and I'm not exactly sure if he's only there if he's ready to rematch you, or if he's always there and you can talk to him even without having to rematch battle him. And I believe you do have to finish the Elite Four before he'll start rematch fighting you. That I'm not 100% sure on, but I think that's what it is. Not exactly sure. But, as I was stating earlier, Altaria as the move Dragon Dance. Boy, oh boy, would a lot of my problems be solved if Flygon could learn Dragon Dance. And I don't know if it was because that they were afraid that Flygon with Dragon Dance would be a little bit too strong in Gen 3, which is very possible with Flygon being a Dragon Ground type. You know, you use one Dragon Dance and Earthquake's going to pretty much blow every non-flying, non-levitate Pokemon out of the waters, no problem. But, so, let's go back. In the most recent part, I was talking about how I was a little bit afraid that if I went on my way and did all these rematch battles, that maybe my team might be a little bit too strong for the Elite Four. I wanted the Elite Four to be a lot like what the gym leaders had been up to that point, where it was, they're a good challenge, and I got to do some extra thought process in some cases, and it's not just a one-hit face-off. You know, I've actually got to try to sweep the gym or whatnot. And you know, I was really hoping that the team that I have right now, by the time I was done with Victory Road, I'd be able to go into the Elite Four, go through it, have some struggles, you know, here and there, having to plan, all that stuff, you know, make it a little bit more interesting. And I was so close to being right. So close. But there was just one member that absolutely destroys my team. Now, I'm not going to go into, well, I don't know. I don't know if I want to go too much into it, because this is basically, you know, the Victory Road part. And, you know, I'd much rather talk about the Elite Four and all that stuff on the part of the Elite Four and all that. But I can't help but feel how much easier this one particular member. I mean, the Elite Four in itself probably would have been a lot easier as well, but one particular member, I feel like I might have had a bit of an easier time if only Flygon could have learned Dragon Dance. And just to let you guys know ahead of time, is that, again, the main plan was the team that I had would go into the Elite Four, exact same levels as they were coming out of Victory Road, all that stuff that I already explained. And it's not happening. All right. Well, I'm not even going to say it's not happening. It didn't happen. By the time of this recording, everything that I needed to get pre-recorded done is done. All the pre-recording is completely done. All I got to do is the audio portions like I'm doing right now, which I believe will account for this part and then 3 more parts. 3 or 4, but I believe it's only 3 more parts. And then the rest is going to be the live commentary with all the battle tents and the battle frontier. But everything else that I got done ahead of time for the post commentary is already done and recorded. You know, I beat the game. Aside from the battle tents and the battle frontier, I beat the game. So I can tell you guys with certainty, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. I did have to go out of my way and do extra grinding for the Elite Four. I shouldn't even put it that way. I didn't have to do any extra grinding for the Elite Four. I did, however, have to do some extra grinding for one particular member of the Elite Four. And I'm pretty sure some people probably know what it is I'm talking about, because unfortunately, the team that I have is garbage to the one member. And yeah, I had to do the Elite Four numerous times before I finally beat it because of this one particular member. And yeah, it was very soul crushing. And but here's the thing though, because this is what made it so soul crushing for me. The team that I have coming out of the Elite Four, the team that I have coming out of Victory Road, going into the Elite Four, can beat the entirety of the Elite Four, champion, all, you name it. It just can't do it consistently, because I think out of like 10 times I went through it on my test runs, only one time I was able to beat it. And I tried to do it with recording. And I should have been recording on one of the test runs, because if I did, it would have been all okay. But I didn't. And when I did the actual live recordings, yeah, either luck was not on my side, or in some cases, in that one case where I actually won, because again, I think I did it about 10 times over, and I only won one of them, and I'm pretty sure it was just stupid luck. Because it gave me the false sense of, okay, this is possible. No, not consistently anyways. This team, even when leveled up, struggled hard. And it sucks because again, I had to go on my way and grind in order to do it. Because at the end of the day, this is a walkthrough, not a let's play. So, you know, it's basically just say, okay, you just got to go for it. In Gen 4, it could be a whole different story where, you know, I'll record myself getting my ass kicked numerous times over. And, you know, it can be funny because it's like, hey, it's a let's play. It's my first time ever playing it. But because this is a walkthrough, it's really just a, hey, whatever I'm recording needs to go in. If I get it right or get it wrong, it doesn't matter as long as it gets done. It just never, it didn't get done. That was the problem. If I would have kept all of the recordings that I tried doing with me going against the Elite Four, I would have had probably about 5 to 6 parts of me losing the Elite Four. And even then, I can't even guarantee if I would have beaten them, because then I went out, grinded, tried again, members still destroyed me, went out, grinded, came back, that one, and the sad thing was, the more I kept doing it, the easier other members of the Elite Four got. It's I couldn't. I tried. I really did, folks. I tried, and I couldn't. So, unfortunately, yes, a good majority of Elite Four is going to be exactly what I didn't want it to be. It's just going to be a one-shot fest because of the levels of my Pokemon. You know, that's just the way it is, unfortunately. But unfortunately for me, I didn't plan well enough for the Elite Four, and I got destroyed because of it. We'll go more into details about that on the next part, because this is all about Victory Road a bit. But just letting you guys know, I can't follow up on what I said yesterday. A majority of Elite Four is going to be a one-shot fest. And, yep, that's really about it. It's a little bit sad, but whatever. But anyways, Victory Road, again, straightforward, not too hard. A couple trainers you got to go against. I figured it was a really good area to grind up Blaziken most above all the others, get it to a really high level. Try and get it close to level 50 as possible, which again is going to be a real joke in the next part when they're already in their mid-50s or so, because the way I did it was I just grinded like crazy, and then I went and then I got all of the rare candies that I had stored in the PC and used those to get a couple more level ups on some of my other Pokemon and then just call it good. And yeah, no, it was something else. But in Victory Road, if you do want to use it as a place to grind, which it kind of sucks in some cases, because in a lot of cases these Pokemon don't really give off that much experience, but any experience is better than no experience, so it is something. If you are going through Victory Road, on the main level where you first came in, this is for all 3 versions now, you have a 10% chance of running into a Zubat with a 25% chance it's a Golbat, 5% chance it's a Whismur, 10% chance it's a Loudred, 10% chance it's a Makuhita, 25% chance it's a Hariyama, 5% chance for an Aaron, and a 10% chance for a Larian. If you're in basement floor, number 1, which I believe I'm in basement floor number 2 if I'm not mistaken, but yeah, basement floor number 1, 35% chance you'll run into a Golbat, 35% chance it'll be a Hariyama, 5% chance it'll be a Mawile in the Emerald version, 15% chance it's going to be a Larian in the Ruby Sapphire version with a 25% chance it'll be a Larian in the Emerald version, 5% chance for a Meditite in the Ruby Sapphire version with a 10% chance it'll be a Medicham in the Ruby Sapphire version. Using Rock Smash on any of those rocks gives you the 30% chance for a Geodude and a 70% chance for a Graveler. And if you are all the way down at the very bottom, basement floor number 2, you have a 30% chance for a Golbat, 35% chance for a Sableye in the Sapphire Emerald versions, 35% chance for a Mawile in the Ruby version with a 5% chance for a Mawile in the Emerald version, I should say, excuse me. 15% chance for a Larian in the Ruby Sapphire version with a 25% chance it's a Larian in the Emerald version, and a 15% chance for a Medicham in the Ruby Sapphire versions. When you are surfing, you have a 100% chance of running into a Golbat, and if you are fishing in the water areas, you have a 30% chance for a Goldeen with a 70% chance for a Magikarp with the Old Rod, 20% chance for a Goldeen with a 60% chance it's a Magikarp, and 20% chance for a Barboach with the Good Rod, and Super Rod gives you an 80% chance for a Barboach and 20% chance for a Wishcat. I said Wishcat, didn't I? It's Whiscash, Wizcash, Wishcat, Wishcash, Wishkish. Alright, we're going all in Stewie up in here. Whip. And all that stuff. Making jokes from years ago. Give me a second, I gotta get more comfortable in my chair here. Oh boy. Unprofessional as it gets. So yeah, one of the biggest problems when it comes to grinding in Victory Road is in a lot of cases when you want to grind Victory Road, you kind of just want to go through the entrance, run back and forth, run into the Pokemon, grind against them until either your Pokemon faint or until you run out of moves, and then immediately exit out, go to the Pokemon Center, get them raised, get them all healed, get them all their moves back, go, rinse and repeat, all that stuff. The thing that sucks about that is, again, if you do go with that route and you're only in the main room, then you're going to be running in... Golbat's not bad as far as giving experience, but there's always the chance you run into a Zubat, a Whismur, a Makuhita, or an Aaron that give you no experience whatsoever. Golbat gives you a good amount of experience. Loudred kind of does. Hariyama does. I think Larian gives the most experience out of all the base level Pokemon that you run into. I believe, obviously, what you really want to do is go down to basement floor number 2. Just make sure like you have escape ropes or a Pokemon that knows the ability dig, so that when you're like, okay, now I'm out of Pokemon moves, you know, let's go ahead and head back. You know, it'll be easier than having to deal with even more random wild Pokemon when you kind of don't want to. For me, it's a pain having to travel that far between the Pokemon Center and basement floor number 2 to get the most out of the experience. But it's also a pain where you're going into the main floor and there's a good chance the Pokemon you run into is an Aaron or a Whismur, you know, a base level Pokemon, and you're not going to get any experience off of them. And yeah, that made grinding a little bit harder, having to get all of my Pokemon up to the level to be able to, you know, face the one member of the Elite Four that was giving me such a hard time. Again, it was one member that gave me such a hard time in comparison to all the others. And, oh my goodness. And the same can be said for the final trainer that you go against at the end of the game, which I know a lot of people are already well aware of who it is, but in case you're not, I'm not going to spoil it for you. You'll see when the time comes. Yeah, that was another one that I was like, okay, well, now I'm done with the Elite Four and doing with all these other things, you know, and my Pokemon are relatively good level. I should be pretty okay. No. I was able to with the team even after the Elite Four. I was maybe able to take out, at best, maybe 3 of their Pokemon. And that's with luck. And, you know, only 2 if I got really unlucky. but then the rest would just ruffle stomp me like it was no one's business. So basically, if there's anything to learn from this, don't raise the team that I raised if you want to take this game seriously. Here I was trying to have fun, and then I remembered, oh yeah, you could have fun or you could win. And yeah, I took the route of just, I guess, not wanting to win. I guess all I really wanted to do was have fun or something, because my God, I got stomped by two trainers, one in the Elite Four and then one at the end of the game. Two trainers stomped me unbelievably in comparison to everything else. Even in some cases where it was like with the gym, where it was like a little bit more of a challenge, or in some cases where, like, when I messed up going against the twins in the psychic gym, where it's like, oh, I actually meant to start off with this team, and, you know, I got punished for accidentally not setting up correctly and all that. You know, even then it was like, okay, it made it a little bit more interesting because, you know, I'm losing a bit and I got to, you know, pull the win out of my ass or something like that. You know, get a little bit lucky here and there. Even at my luckiest against these two trainers, it didn't matter. Even if I got the exact luck that I needed, I got completely destroyed. And in a lot of cases, it's not even the trainer's fault, it's a certain item's fault. And you'll hear me bitch about this item a lot in the next part. I want to kind of save the rage that I have for this particular item for the next part, because I am going to lose my mind with it, because, oh my goodness, I hate that this item is still a thing. And because I'm not up to date with Pokemon as far as, because again, Gen 5 Black 2 White 2 is the last Pokemon game I ever played. I have not done Gen 6 or Gen 7 or anything like that just yet. I'm really hoping that it's something that eventually got removed. And if not, maybe Sword and Shield will remove it. I mean, for God's sakes, they've already removed a lot of Pokemon you can get in the National Pokedex, so maybe they'll remove this one thing that's very upsetting. I don't know. Speaking of which, anyone else kind of losing the hype for Sword and Shield a little bit? And I don't, like, I've already given my piece in an earlier episode of Emerald about how I felt when it came to Sword and Shield. For me, it doesn't matter about the whole National Pokedex thing, because I never got the one Pokemon I've always wanted on my team early in Sneasel anyways. So for me, it's like, I'm kind of used to it not getting the one Pokemon I wanted anyways. What do I care? But I can understand where other people are upset about it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you guys need to suck it up. I get it. I totally get it. It was something you guys loved, and it was taken away from you. Kind of like Sneasel's always taken away from me outside of Crystal. But I digress on that. So aside from that, you know, I mean, I was like, okay, you know, I'm a little bit into it, but I don't know. The growth evolution is not really appealing to me. I wasn't even like, I was a fan of a lot of the way the Mega Evolution looked, but I never really got into the whole Mega Evolution. I never got into the whole entire, what is it, Z move when it came to Pokemon Sun and Moon. And this giant form, I can't say I'm all appealed to that either, personally. Some of the Pokemon that were revealed, I'm not as into. Everyone's losing their mind over that sheep, whatever it was, or the Woolite, whatever it is, that Pokemon. And everyone's like, oh my God, this Pokemon. And I'm like, it's Mareep. Like, we've had Mareep. I know it's not like, I don't think it's an electric type anyways, but, you know, I don't know. A lot of the Pokemon coming out don't look all that interesting to me. The starters don't look that interesting either. It might be one of the few times where I got on my way to get a water Pokemon, because the fire Pokemon I'm not all that hype about personally. I don't know. I think the only Pokemon that I've seen that I'm actually interested in is that Poltegeist, because I think it's actually a really cool play on words personally, and it really does look kind of cute. The fact that it's a pure ghost type has me a little bit worried. And that other dodo-looking bird thing, I understand kind of like the funniness of it, where if it uses like dive or surf, hey, it's a fish, and then when it takes damage, it's going to throw that fish at the opponent, which I'm pretty sure might be not that bad for. I'm pretty sure it's not the only form. Maybe it has an evolution where it does the same thing. Who knows? It might be really good competitively, because then say you go against a Pokemon that has the ability Sturdy, and then you take it out, it goes down to that 1 HP left over, then it attacks you back, and then you throw the fish at them for the knockout KO. That's pretty cool. You know, I'm not going to lie on that. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, this is absolute garbage, you know, what a stupid ability. I mean, it's a stupid ability, but it's one that I think that could probably, I'm not going to bet money on it, but probably could pay off. And again, I'm not a competitive Pokemon player, so I don't know how it looks in the competitive Pokemon scene, but when I see that, the first thing I think of is, you know, if I get hit with, you know, if I take out a Pokemon, but they have Sturdy and then they get one more turn, if they attack me and then I throw the fish at them, that's one less turn of having to worry about really any of that. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe it's not all that good. It's another water flying type, so it's going to be destroyed by electric types. I don't know. I don't exactly know how good it's really going to be. So we'll see on that. But then the whole entire camping thing, okay, it's cute. I'm not going to do it that much. You can make curry, I guess. And yeah, maybe if that curry is like the new way of boosting Pokemon stats, I'm not going to do that much either. You know, I'm just one of those, I want to play the game, I want to make a good team, and I want to go and fight the Elite Four and, you know, do that. And Sword and Shield might be the first Pokemon game that'll make me actually want to do competitive, because I've always had issues, even with my old Nintendo DS, I've always had issues with like hooking up to the Wi-Fi to do actual PvP matches. That's why I never got into competitive, because back in high school and even during my college days, I never could get it set up to where I could do any kind of competitiveness whatsoever. But with a Nintendo Switch and Sword and Shield, it looks like I'd be more capable of actually being able to do something more competitive. So, you know, that's more of what I'm interested in above all else. But I gotta tell you, so much of this other side stuff, like the giant forms and the camping and the cooking and all that stuff, I don't care. I feel like if we're going more of the casual route, I thought that's what Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee was for. And I'm excited to play that too when I eventually am capable of getting myself a Nintendo Switch, because I would like playing a very casual, laid back, catch a whole bunch of Pokemon. You know, it looks fun and relaxing. But when it comes to Sword and Shield, when it comes to Sword and Shield, I kind of want, I don't want it to be that relaxing, I guess. I don't know. And it's one of those where it's like, oh, well, if you don't like it, then just don't do it. Yeah, okay. No, you got me there. I'm even one of those that'll say that at times too, where it's like, hey, if you don't like it, then just don't do it. And that's literally what I should be saying to myself. Just like, okay, you don't like the camping, don't do it. You don't like the curry, don't do it. But I am starting to see more on the side of where people are like, okay, cool, I lose National Pokedex, but hey, now I get to go camping with my Pokemon. This is what I asked for. I'm starting to see more and more of, you know, that side of things where people are getting more upset. Because I'm sitting here like, okay, I don't care about any of these. I didn't care about the National Pokedex personally. But yeah, I'd much rather have the National Pokedex over any of these. Or if they are going to add stuff, I'd want them to add more interesting things. And I don't know, we'll see. I still plan on playing it, hopefully. I don't know exactly when, though. Money's very tight right now. I'm not in a situation where I can afford a Nintendo Switch at the moment. So whenever I can, trust me, one of the first things I'll do when I get that Nintendo Switch is getting Sword and Shield, and I will play it for YouTube. You know, not post-commentary, no walkthrough, no BS, just me playing it for the first time, having skipped Gen 6 and Gen 7, going straight to Gen 8. You know, I'm pretty sure that'd be funny in its own right, because there'll be a lot of Pokemon where I'm like, I have no idea what this is, and it's like a Gen 6 Pokemon or something. So yeah, I'll be going into it completely blind, and I feel like that's going to be really fun because of it. So, I don't know when. You know, hopefully, if things fall into place like I'm hoping they will, and I can get myself a little bit more financially stable in the next couple months, maybe I can get it a series like that started around Christmas. You know, it'd be like the Christmas present to YouTube. We'll see. I don't know, but that's kind of what I'd like to do it the minute the game came out. I don't think it's going to happen, but we'll see. But at the very least, the biggest one that I'm hoping for is by Christmas time, maybe I'd be able to get a Sword and Shield Let's Play going on for the channel, because again, it just seems really fun. But what is going to be really fun is, again, we got this part and then 3 more parts, and then we'll finally be doing the Battle Frontier and all the battle tents, which is, again, an area I have not traversed in. I've only done 1 battle tent in the past, so I kind of have an idea of what I remember anyways of how it went. But the other 2 battle tents, I have no idea if it's different or not, and the Battle Frontier, I have no idea what's going on with that either. I'm going to be learning that as I go. And I'm very excited for it because, again, I like going into things having no idea whatsoever. Also, can we just say how cool this team up is right here? Gardevoir with skill swap and slacking, where basically you just take away slacking ability, where instead of just lazing around every other turn, now all of a sudden he can use that attack stat to good use, where he just keeps on beating you again and again and again. And it's really cool. Effective? A little bit. Really good? Not really, but it's a cool concept. I'm one of those guys where it's like, if the concept's cool, I'm game. Even if it sucks, I think it's really cool. I love card games for something like that. I like it when I'm playing a card game and someone brings like a deck where it's like, oh my God, what were you thinking when you made this? I love it, but wow, that is not gonna work. I try and do it myself as much as I can, where I'm like, hey, this deck is complete trash, but it sounds interesting, So yeah, I like that little team up there. But yeah, back to what I was talking about originally. We're gonna be doing some fun live stuff, and hopefully Sword and Shield in the upcoming future. And yeah, more than likely it'll be Sword and Shield before I get to Gen 4. It is looking like Gen 4 is gonna be me doing it live for myself, but not on something like Twitch, because again, I do not have the funds to upgrade my computer as soon as I wanted to. Well, at least for the time being anyways, but again, we'll still probably take a step back from Pokemon once this is over, so, we can still wait for that maybe, and who knows, we'll see. I'm not going to rule anything out just yet. The other thing I'm going to rule out is that Victory Road is now done, and in the future is something... Oh boy, it's going to be really fun to go into, folks. But anyways, with that, enjoy the rest of your evenings, and we'll catch you all in the next part.